Hello, this is Christian. Thanks for joining another episode of the EMnify IoT webinars. It's a pleasure to bring you another interesting topic from the IoT space today. So the EMnify IoT webinars we're organizing regularly to discuss certain aspects of an IoT solution. So we had already several webinars with industry leaders from battery manufacturers, cloud providers, or even customers that were just talking about certain problems that they faced when developing an IoT solution and how they overcome that problem. Today I'm looking forward to speak with Andrius from Teltonika about cellular routers. But before we go into that topic, let me just give you a little bit of background about EMnify. I've seen that in the registrant list there are quite a few new names to us. So EMnify is a German company. We were founded in 2014 by these three elegant guys, which are coming from the telco space. In 2014, they realized that the Internet of Things was a tremendous, interesting topic, and that the cellular connectivity that they have been working before is not ideal for IoT. And they launched a first mobile core network in the cloud, and this actually evolved into the EMnify cloud communication platform. Today we have offices in Berlin and Würzburg, Germany, and also in Manila in Philippines. And our customers are coming from the B2B and B2C space, all IoT solution providers, so developing IoT devices and needing a provider for connectivity. So today we have more than 1,200 enterprises in over 75 countries, and we manage more than 10 million SIM cards on our platform. So as I said before, the founders of EMnify, we see that the Internet of Things and the connectivity is not just about connection. It's just one piece of the puzzle if you are looking for a connectivity provider. So on the Connect side, we provide basically global cellular coverage with a single SIM card. But other areas, the integration into the IoT stack and the automation that you need to manage thousands of different devices and connections, and also then the operations that your teams will need to do with these connections, that has been a key focus when designing our communication platform for IoT. But I don't want to talk too much about EMnify. If you are interested to learn more about EMnify, you can ask questions on the question panel. There's a question mark to your right. And also throughout the presentation, please don't hesitate, just write the questions. I will try to answer them already during the webinar, or at the end, we will have a Q&A session. So now I would hand over to Andrius. Hi, Andrius.
All right, so hello again, everybody. I'm Andrius Unikas from company Teltonika Networks, and today I will share our insights on how to choose the right cellular router or gateway for your IoT solution. At first, I would like to say a big thanks to EMnify and especially to Christian and Masha. Without their cooperation, this webinar would not see the daylight. So I'm not aware that all of you know Teltonika Networks. That is why I will shortly introduce you our company. So Teltonika group consists of 4 different companies or product niches. We have Teltonika Telematics, responsible for GPS tracking, Teltonika EMS, responsible for manufacturing devices, Teltonika Telemedic, whose responsibilities are to make and sell so-called healthy devices, and Teltonika Networks, the company which I represent, for connectivity products. So totally, Teltonika IoT Group employs over 1,200 employees, and we are selling to more than 150 countries. And now you can see that we have offices in 17 different countries that are listed in this slide. Going further, again, I represent Teltonika Networks, the routers and gateways, and Teltonika Networks is a part of Teltonika IoT Group. We employ more than 250 employees with a plan to have approximately 400 in the next 21. Furthermore, our key strengths are powered by the fact that we will have in-house R&D, support, manufacturing, and sales, meaning that everything is based in one small country, which basically decreases the time on bureaucracy. This makes us flexible, reliable, and grants us the possibility to have rates like this, the failure rate, which is less than 0.1%. Furthermore, since our products are valued by different partners, we are growing of more than 50% each year, and this year is no different from others. So we are trying to position Teltonika Networks in different markets, such as industrial routers, enterprise routers, switches market, and even we are planning to enter a consumer market in the future. So why we are doing this? Why we are trying to differentiate our forces? So because in the world, there are more than 200 different router and gateway manufacturers, including, again, industrial, consumer, enterprise series manufacturers. Also, because the market size is growing rapidly. As you can see from this slide, LTE routers gateways market nowadays is approximately $1 billion of US dollars, with a plan to reach even $3 billion US dollars by 2024. And this amount of products are differentiated in different industries. We, as Teltonika Networks, are seeing 6 different markets or industries you can call, such as industrial and automation, energy and utilities, smart city, transportation, enterprise, and retail. About each of them, I have a short overview, and I will begin with the first one, which is industrial and automation. For this industry, I have chosen one of our topologies about oil and gas, since oil and gas accounts to more than 60% of the global energy consumption combined. But when you are looking at this topology, understand that industrial and automation includes different solutions, from manufacturing plant machinery connectivity to robotics. So in this industry, the most important things includes what protocols does the router support. It can be Modbus Master, OPC UA, or others. Check if the router can support battery connectivity, since many of these solutions are in the middle of nowhere. Also, you must check what serial interfaces it offers. It can be RS-232, RS-485 ports, Ethernet ports, what wireless interfaces it has also. Lastly, check what is the operating temperature offered by the product which you choose. Again, placing a consumer LTE router in the middle of a desert might lead to melted plastics. Placing enterprise-grade router in the middle of Siberia might not work also. Here in this topology, you can see one of our cellular gateways, which has RS-485 port and Modbus RT support. And for this particular solution, this was enough. When I was mentioning that industrial and automation includes many different solutions, here you can see the real example how one of the companies, one of our partners installed RET240 and isometer for isolation monitoring and notifying. The purpose of the router is to notify about bad isolation to the headquarters. Going further to the second industry, which is called energy and utilities. It includes green energy, nuclear energy, and other types of energy generated. Here, the most common things are similar to industry and automation, since the gateway or router is also connected to controllers, PLCs, or other type of equipment via serial interfaces and industrial protocols. However, in this particular sector, energy consumption is crucial. So take your time and choose the product which consumes less electricity from himself. So when you are choosing the right device, for example, for this industry, for these applications, take your time and choose the best product. Like in this case, a few more pictures from real installations. Sorry that these pictures are not, in high quality or so. Our partners are sending them, but you can see here how our clients installed routers into solar panel farms near the controllers. Going further to third and probably the most potential having industry, smart city. Nowadays, as the world is moving towards digitalization, more and more devices becomes connected to the internet. Like in this topology, EV charges. The purpose of the router is very simple here. Just offer reliable and stable internet connectivity to have a real-time user experience. Usually, most of smart city applications are placed outside. So do not forget to check operating temperature of the product. Also, people are looking for mobile products for this solution because it is simple and fast to install. So do not choose not cellular device or gateway for such kind of application. And now in this picture on the left, you can see electric vehicle charger again with our product installed inside of it. You might wonder why manufacturers are choosing to install a router instead, for example, of a modem. Well, it is faster, easier, and simpler. In the future, it will be much easier to take it out and put a new one, for example. And on the right side, another our client from Scandinavia who is using our router for tracking, let's say, garbage. It might sound funny, but it is a very smart use case, because whenever for example, the garbage bin in the street is filled up to the sensor to the top, the garbage man, the truck, the owner gets notifications and moves to that location. So in this way, they cut huge expenditures of sending garbage truck to change the empty or half full bin. Going to the fourth industry, transportation. This sector is, I call it like a cherry on top of the pie when talking about cellular routers or gateways. Nobody will choose a router with fiber for public bus or taxi car because it's a moving object. What is important here? Usually in a public bus, a router stands as an access point and communication terminal between different kind of devices and software systems in the cloud. As you can see here in this topology, cameras, screens, terminals, payment systems, and other type of devices are connected to one single device. For example, here RT955. And what I would like to tell you that you must choose a product which has many different interfaces, wired and wireless. Going further, as Wi-Fi is very important here to provide public access to passengers, choose a product which can offer as many Wi-Fi connections as possible. Furthermore, if the product has hotspot and if the hotspot has a landing page which you can customize in any way you want. Going further to the pictures, so on the left you can see a small bus equipped with our automotive router called RET850, and on the right, Red Cross Command Unit vehicle, which is equipped with two RET-X11s for connectivity. If you would like to read more about these use cases, just, visit our website at Industries. All right, and the fifth industry, the enterprise. Here, cellular connectivity is not a must, but nice to have, mostly depending on the solution. What I mean depending on the solution. For example, ATMs, there is a must to use a cellular router for the backup, and even better if it has two SIM cards. What I have noticed that many projects for ATM connectivity has a requirement in the list for two SIM cards. So check out the list of requirements, especially in enterprise sector with financial solutions. Furthermore, here comes the security part, which is essential here. no one will choose unsecure product for ATM connectivity. And here you can take a look how the router looks inside one of the ATMs in the real life. Simple connection, 2 SIM cards, and uninterruptible internet source. And the last industry, before we move to the most interesting, important part, this industry we call retail. It might include warehouses, shopping malls, vending machines. Usually in these solutions, do not forget to check out what failover mechanism does the router offer, how many different users can connect to the Wi-Fi. Furthermore, the retail market is also sensitive to the security, so check it out also. And now, after reviewing those 6 industries, I would like to remind you that in the world there are more than 200 manufacturers of cellular routers and gateways who are differentiating products into 6 different industries. So the question, how should I choose the right one for my IoT solution? And obviously, I will overview the most important things to consider when you are doing this. Probably to everyone, before starting to work in a tangible project or even creating your own product or project manufacturing, firstly, you rethink about everything. And then after rethinking, you are trying to initiate it, which might take up to a few months. Then you think what to do and how to do to achieve the best outcome. When you are planning, you are choosing the best devices and the best value ratio. After planning is over, you are trying to execute the project, installations, etc. And in the end, you close it. So in the real life, the whole project, the project lifetime might take from half a year up to 5 years if it's a long-term project with early installations, maintenance, and support. Furthermore, when speaking about choosing the right device, you must overview all the information that the end client have told you. Now I'm speaking about location in which the project should be executed. And why am I doing this? Well, because with connectivity products, there might be differences according to different countries, like, for example, frequencies, certifications, legal rules, and others. So, as you all know, connectivity options, for example, in Europe are quite different than connectivity options, for example, in Asia. And that is one of the most important things to consider when participating in a tender. Furthermore, you must overview the life cycle of the project, which I have mentioned to you. Because again, some projects might take half a year, others can take 5 years. And what will happen, for example, if the country supports 2G right now, but in 3 years, it will change everything, for example, to narrowband or other technology. What to do? How to choose the right product? Maybe someone in the market is offering a product with a few connectivity options in the same device. Maybe it is a better, for example, to invest right now in a product that does that instead of changing it after 3 years to a new one. So now I'm going directly to the cellular router or gateway as, let's say, as a hardware. And you must understand that key value components here are security, reliability, easy to use, price, and competitive environment. So let's begin with the security. And here you can see questions to which you should know the answers before buying hardware. So virtual private network or VPN basically is a method just of connecting multiple private networks across internet. VPNs basically can serve to achieve many different goals, but some of its main purposes are access between remote private networks, data encryption, anonymity when browsing the internet, etc. If the hardware offer VPNs, there is no need for you to additionally, for example, purchase VPN services. That leads to less expenditures. Furthermore, when browsing, when you are looking for the right hardware, pay attention. Some manufacturers are offering features like VPN as an additional feature, meaning you will have to pay additionally. Another important thing is the password management, which might sound funny, but you might guess how many % of people are not changing the default password. Many of them. And we, for example, as Teltonika Networks, we have created a rule in our operating system that you will not access routers web UI without changing the default password. Furthermore, firewall might seem just a simple security feature, but it's not. And choosing the product, you must check what are the default firewall rules, because it can happen like the same as with the password. You can easily forget to write those rules. And another thing about security, if you are working with, for example, end users, the very important feature is web filtering. If the product doesn't have this feature, you will likely not succeed in a public tender, since everyone will need to restrict website access. And lastly, the overall security reputation of the manufacturer. You can ask yourself, how sensitive is your and your company's data? Imagine that a company has security flaws and your data is stolen from that company. What will happen? Maybe nothing, or maybe huge problems in the future. So furthermore, I advise you to check the manufacturer's security in many different ways. This will prevent you against having a big problems in the future. Now going to the reliability, everyone would accept my statement that reliability is the most important thing when choosing a product. Why? If the router or gateway will be unreliable, it might not offer the most needed features during the time of a downtime. Furthermore, check what failover options does the router offer. It is very important when selecting a product for a backup, for example. Take your time reading more about those dual SIM functionality or even dual modem functionality. This might save you a lot of time on maintenance in the future, since the product will be able to offer different operator usage. For example, check how you will be able to reach the end product remotely. This is very important. If you will choose to have, for example, the maintenance remotely, because there might be many different options to this. For example, again, at Teltonika Networks, we have our own software system called RMS, with which you can monitor and control not only our products, but all products in the same network. Lastly, check the physical ruggedness of the product. Decide what environmental issues it might face: freezing or hot weather, dust or water, etc. Another important element is how it is easy to use, since this will affect your costs. If the router configuration will not require special training, you will save a lot of time and a lot of money, since you will not need to pay for technical trainings. If the configuration and web UI is user-friendly, you will for surely train end client easier, and it will be simple for you to make maintenance in the future. Furthermore, ask manufacturer for additional support information which is available. I'm not talking about the direct channel to the support team or on-site help. I'm talking about documentation. For example, we have our own wiki page with configuration examples, usage cases, installation pictures, manuals, firmwares, and other great information. Also, you can use crowd support forum for asking any question regarding configurations and get your answer way faster. So check what additional support information you are getting. Check what additional sites the manufacturer are offering. And now The last thing which you will need to think about when choosing the right router or gateway for your IoT solution is the overall price and competitive environment. So check what features the manufacturer is offering. Do your list, check your tender requirements. If you need all those features, or maybe some of them are missing, for example, the next step is to check what you get with standard equipment. I know many manufacturers who are positioning their product as low, mid, and price, but well, they do not include anything except power supply unit. And when it comes to choosing all antennas, cables, mounting options, the price grows to mid-high end. Also check how does the support again works, what channels you get to reach their support. Do you get, for example, your own help desk account or not? Do they have something like a crowd support forum? And in this way, partnering, let's say, with manufacturer instead of distributor or reseller pays the price, since asking for support from a distributor is usually taking way more time. And check if the manufacturer is offering, let's say, software, what functionality you get from that. If not, check the market for management platforms and check their pricing. Going further, I have been talking about how to choose the right product, and now I will overview what to consider when you are making an installation. If you remember my project lifecycle slide, there was an, let's say, execution part. So that's what I will be talking about right now. You must understand that IoT solution might consist of 5 or more different things. Endpoints, the products that must be controlled, monitored, or provided with internet connectivity. Then there's a router or a gateway. You must also have a device management system for that. Furthermore, there's a platform for monitoring everything. And last but not least, connectivity. Each of these products and solutions comes usually from different vendors, manufacturers, operators, internet service providers, even software companies. That makes your decision to be even harder to make. So you must know a few things before making the right decision. First, what components you will need for the solution. Hardware, is it better to get hardware from manufacturer or distributor? What are the advantages and disadvantages of doing each option? Another thing, what accessories you will need. Will you mount the product on a DIN rail or screw it to the wall or put it into the rack? What additional antennas you will need, etc. So furthermore, is it better to get them, let's say, from the same source as the hardware, or is it worth searching for a better price value ratio? Third thing is an IoT platform. Will you use your own and adjust it to the hardware and the solution? Maybe you will be creating a new software by your own. Maybe it is cheaper and faster to use already existing third-party platform. And the last thing is connectivity. Which operator offers the best conditions for the agreement? What additional features it offers? Just for example, EMnify is offering static IP without additional charge. Maybe it's worth it. And another thing, what I would like to speak about is the time spent for your installation. When you have bought your devices, accessories, platforms, and connectivity, what to do? You must prepare your whole solution. You must test it before installing the whole batch. Then you must pre-configure all devices. So choosing the product which is easy to use might save you a bunch of money. Just as an example, for example, with our products, you can try our RMS remote management system, in which you can use multi-configuration tool for pre-configuring your all devices in a single window at the same time. After pre-configuration is over, the installation, the mechanical work comes to the place. Again, if the device is easy to use, your installation will take much less time than installing devices who requires certified engineers. And the last thing, training for the end client. Usually in project standards, at least public ones, the integrator must do the maintenance and support for some kind of the time. It can be 1 year, 2 years, or even 5 years. But after that, the end client must make maintenance by himself or pay additional price. So usually they ask training, and to train people with devices that are user-friendly, it becomes simpler and time-saving. Saved time equals less expenditures. And as I was moving into maintenance, you have to understand two things. Is it worth to have on-site maintenance, or better to choose a remote one for, let's say, additional price? Overall, my opinion is that remote maintenance is the better option. And I will tell you by describing advantages and disadvantages of both of them. So starting with on-site maintenance, the name describes its purpose. The biggest advantage is that you have an admin, for example, at the place where 24/7. Disadvantages includes human risk factor, expensive price, etc. Talking about remote maintenance, the advantage is that you can do it from anywhere in the world. If error occurs, you will get notification and you will be able to fix everything probably way faster. Also, you will be able to fix hundreds and thousands of devices from one single computer. And the disadvantage is probably the starting price, which might be a little bit bigger, but on the long term, it will be cheaper than hiring an admin. The last thing which you must consider for your installation and the project is the RMA procedure. So the main questions: how long it takes to fix the product? Does the manufacturer or distributor fixes or changes it? Furthermore, if the company changes it, does it make it as fast as possible? Also, you must rethink about warranty period, and if you can, extend it, and if it is worth it, you must calculate it. At last, failure rate can show you what buffer stock to choose when executing the project. Since this is a very common thing to buy buffer for a bigger projects. Let's say you buy 1000 devices and you buy 10 products for buffer. So if you are thinking about this webinar, just remember one of the most important things, that IoT solution consists of endpoints, connectivity, the router, IoT platform, and device management. So if you are looking for connectivity provider, you are at the right place with EMnify. If you are looking for a hardware, you are also at the right place with us, Teltonika Networks. And now, do you have any questions? I saw in my screen that there were questions, and probably I will recheck them.
Yes, Andreas, there were several questions. Let me just pull up also the slide deck. So just for everyone, you have the possibility to ask questions. You just have to tap on the question panel.
Yeah, I found it.
And then you will be able to ask questions. So let me start with some questions. I just have to pull them up. I already answered several. Of course, we will be sending out the slides and the recording. That's the usual one. Oh gosh, this is small here. Wait a second.
Yeah, I see that there are questions.
Yeah. Do you have the possibility to upgrade RAM SSD or USB port on the Teltonika gateways, or are they soldered onto the main board?
They are soldered, but as I was mentioning in the beginning of this webinar, we as Teltonika Networks are quite a flexible company, and for any need of this possibility, you should contact us, and we will rethink basically the possibility, the project, everything. For example, like with USB port, I understand that this is about, let's say, performance, but for example, with USB port, we recently upgraded our RTX series products with USB to serial interface because somebody needed that. So again, we are quite flexible company and we make wonderful things.
The second question that I think that goes in the same line, but I guess if you customize a gateway, does it need to be again certified? I guess it depends on the parts of the solution that are exchanged, I guess, right? Or
Yes, so if the hardware changes, let's say drastically, yes, you need other certifications. Let's say if changes are minor and changes are, let's say, in firmware, then you do not need additional certificate.
okay. Where can I get a solution to mount and protect the RAD 240 and 950 on external pole?
Okay, I think that this person
Very
is speaking
specific.
about outdoor router.
Yeah.
So usually our clients are just looking into the internet and finding like an enclosure box, because with all our routers you can just take magnetic antennas with 3-meter cable, and in this way you can put the router inside of the enclosure and put, so for example, antennas on the box or whatever. In the future we are planning to make those, let's say, outdoor routers, but it's for the future.
Okay. Well, it's a long question here. In order to achieve maximum Wi-Fi coverage on 2.4 gigahertz, is the included antenna strong enough, or should you install a high gain omnidirectional antenna on external location?
Yes, so talking about antennas, usually the standard which we include covers an open area. Let's say if it's really an open area, it can reach up to 500 meters. If it's, let's say, a building, obviously the range decreases, I think, to 50 meters, something like that. So what I recommend to take one of our products, try it, test it with the standard antennas which we include, and if it's not strong enough, then we recommend other, let's say, companies who are making antennas, high gain antennas. And basically the best thing is just to write an email to us or to social media like LinkedIn, to write a chat, and you will get the answer.
Okay. Do your cellular routers support also Easem technology?
Talking about Easem, we have, let's say, a possibility to do this, but like by default they do not, but it's not a huge thing, and we obviously recheck all the possibilities. As I have mentioned, we are a flexible company, so just try to
I think we have to differentiate, right? Easem and EUICC, the embedded SIMs, and the EUICC. That's of course. Do your routers have dual SIM?
Okay, so
okay, I understand. But then it goes on with 2.4 gigahertz modems. 4G. Okay, here I was reading the question. Yeah.
All right, so this question I think includes two parts. One is about dual SIM, like 2 SIM cards, and one is about 2 4G modems. So we have both of them. We have dual SIMs products from RET9 series and RET-X series, and we have one product with 2 4G modems, which is called RET-X12.
Okay. Okay, that's probably here a question to both of us. There's very little. Could you talk a bit about data transmission costs? Example, bus with 4 cameras, live transmission using EMnify SIMs. I don't have on top of my head what live transmission of cameras would be, but I think we're talking here about gigabytes. For EMnify pricing, you can look in the website. There's quite open available pricing where you can see what is the price just for the connectivity, which includes also the cellular cloud platform. But Andrius, do you know, maybe know, let's say, roundabout from a use case perspective, how much data would be talking about in this case?
Oh, I cannot imagine. I think it depends not only on my knowledge or experience how much they consume data, but probably on camera also, and what how to say, what quality they are transmitting, you know. But yeah, it will be gigabytes.
Yep. There's a question about the formal training in both EMnify servers as well as training for the RUT routers. Yeah. So I think in general, I'm super happy that we have Andrius here on the call. So several of our customers are using Teltonika routers, and that's how we got aware. And it was a perfect match when we both met and to discuss this webinar. And they're so we're happy to give you a training on the EMnify service on the RUT routers. Alfonso, if you just give us, I guess, some questions where we should start. What's your current level of knowledge? Then we can give you some information. This one is okay, that's a follow-up question to the 4G modems, 2 4G modems, or one modem and possibility to use one SIM at once.
Yeah, so with the functionality of RTX and RTX series, except RTX 12, one SIM card is working at a time, and if something goes wrong with the first SIM card, it switches to the second one. If it's with dual modem, then it's like working together. So
yeah, maybe here also I would like to highlight a little bit the EMnify technology. So actually in our SIM card, there's not just one operator, if you want to say so. We actually have a fallback mechanism as well on our SIM cards. There are 4 operators in a sense. So even if one of the operators has an issue, then we fall back to another one. So that gives you a reliability. So in the case with working with Teltonika routers and EMnify SIMs, you would have a dual redundancy to say.
Yeah.
Can the RUT X11 unit be used with solar power source?
Yes, it can be used. I believe in volts, you know, so X series product supports from 9 to 50 volts, so it can be used.
Then there's a question, I think we kind of answered it, but just to double check, is there a possibility of soldering MFF2 Easems on routers on PCB? I think currently not, right?
I cannot answer this question right now.
So MFF2 are the embedded SIMs that are soldered on the SIM, on the device, but that would be a customization as you are selling basically plug-in SIM routers. RUT X09, do you know how long this will be manufactured? Okay, that's already a life cycle question, so that's one of your customers.
Yeah, so we do not have plans to stop manufacturing this product.
Do the cellular routers use Open Linux or proprietary OS? Can administrative control allow trusted third-party apps to run on them?
Okay, so with this question, our operating system is based on OpenWRT Linux. So it is quite simple to, let's say, install third-party apps to run on them. Even you can go to our website, and there you will have third-party platforms when you go to the products, there's IoT platforms, and in the IoT platforms you will find our platform, and in the bottom you will find third-party platforms like ThingWorks and others. So it quite shows that you can do that easily.
Okay. For EMnify, it is only a monthly charge for cellular services. Do you have plans to partner with edge service provider, for example, having product edge ready? So yes, EMnify, we're really adjusting to the business model that our customers and partners need. So it is a pay-as-you-go model. So where you just pay for the data that you use, or you can choose an inclusive volume, which comes with a monthly charge. And you actually only be charged for active SIMs. So especially looking at the pandemic right now, there we helped a lot of our business partners because they didn't have to pay during that time when their devices were not basically in operation. About edge services, so overall, as EMnify, our cellular cloud platform, is distributed in basically 3 continents right now, in US, Europe, and Asia Pacific. We are closer to the edge if you look at the whole world. Yeah? So, but also we're thinking about even going closer to that. Ashwin, I would like to ask you to, let's say, maybe follow up on this. This is something that we'll really actively looking into the future, and I would be very happy to get a little bit of more background about your use case. Will we get more options with RMS Connect to use other protocol ports than HTTP, SSH, and VNC RDP? We're looking to remotely connect to PIC for remote download.
I have read this question. It's a great question. Since recently we have included RMS Connect to RMS and enabled the possibility with SSH and VNC RDP to connect to different devices. But I believe there are many different ways. And Simon, I hope you can reach me out in, for example, LinkedIn, and just write what options you are missing. And in this way, we will take care of that and we will check it.
Yeah, seems to be already quite a good protocol family actually to download. So also interesting for us actually. So is the RAD 955 best solution in general for commercial vehicle bus from Teltonika? Key benefits in this use?
Yes, so answering this question, there is no correct answer, because for example, in a small bus, you can easily use RET240, a small cost-aggressive device by our company, and this device is used in thousands of buses. If you need to connect different devices like in the topology, payment terminals, etc., then choosing RET955, you can get even GPS and those Wi-Fi hotspots, etc. If you need additional speed, you can use RET-X12 with 2 modems, LT modems. So again, there's no correct answer, just checking what do you want to achieve in this solution, in particular your solution in the bus, what products you want to connect, how many operators you want to use, etc. Basically, if you remember the presentation which I have made today, if you would take your time and answer all those questions which I have given you during this webinar, you will for surely know which product would fit the best your solution.
Any upcoming 802.3 BT switches in the work? Could you maybe also give a little bit background about that protocol, Andrius, if you know?
No. No, basically about switches, you saw that TSV100 is the first switch that we have created, and we have a plan to create 2, I think even 3 more switches in upcoming year, but I cannot tell you about 802.3 BT. switches. So again, you can easily contact me to have this question in my mind, and I will recheck it with our engineers for the answer.
Yeah, seems to be like related to power over Ethernet. Just checking that. Will we have a chance to see more gateways with wired and wireless M-bus devices in the future? Actually, went over that question. It's a little bit more.
Okay, I'm checking for the question.
It's again from Tural. Will we have a chance to see more gateways with wired and wireless M-bus?
Okay, so I believe so, but we have already quite a few gateways, like like TRB1 series, which has 4 products, TRB2 series, which has 2 different products. But again, I think Tural, you mentioned that you will reach me on LinkedIn in the future, so I think we can make a discussion about this.
Okay. In case of ROT X12, I like that the participants already all know your models. But in the ROT X12, where you have 2 modems, can we aggregate the transmission from 2 SIMs and modems?
If you're speaking about like speed fusion or so, like you combine the speed from one part, you get 100, from other you get 100. You will not get from the same SIM card 200, from one connection. But basically, we call it like this, like the sum of that. But you must understand that it comes from 2 modems.
Yeah, I think it's also the challenges of also for the cell, for which you connect, if they transmit at the same time, that actually lowers the average. There's a limit to the cell that they're connected to.
Yeah.
What are your experience with coverage of narrowband and IoT and LTM in the UK? I don't know if you have any. I have a little bit to say about that, Andrius. So,
because I lost your audio.
Oh, okay. Then let me just repeat the question. What are your experience with coverage of narrowband IoT and LTM in the UK?
Okay. I don't know about UK. Basically, I don't have this information about the coverage, but basically, in there is a great map about narrowband and LTM. LTM, let's say, coverage worldwide, and there you can just select any country and check it. I think in the future, everybody will just switch from connectivities from, for example, 2G to narrowband and LTM, because 2G will just be shut down. So they will switch to low power like narrowband. I believe the coverage will let's say cover the whole country.
Yeah, maybe I can also, let's say, talk from our experience. So we have customers that are using LTM in UK, but the rollout is not completed yet. Yeah, so with LTE or even 2G and 3G, you have more coverage than with LTM. For narrowband IoT, the challenge is it's available in the UK, but the challenge is you can only work with one specific operator. Yeah, so only with one network. That means you limit your deployment. Yeah? So if you rely on LTE, like Cat1 versions, you can basically, for example, with our SIM cards, attach to all the different networks in the UK, and with that you just have a better coverage. and with that a better reliability of your solution. But if you're of course interested in, let's say, the low power features and you need to go with narrowband IoT and LTM, and you really need to test if in your specific region the technology is available. You cannot assume that it is available all across the country. What are the temperature ranges of the GSM routers?
Yeah, so the temperature range is from -30 up to 70 plus Celsius. This is the temperature range, but again, take a look at the IP standards, the protection from water and dust, since all our devices are not, let's say, used just simply, putting outdoor. You must put it into an enclosure, but the temperature range is from -40 to 70. Just we do not have IP ratings to fight,
Okay. How to get power plug? How to get power plug 4-pin DC connector on rack to wire in a custom way? It's very specific.
So about power connectors, you can visit our wiki page. There you find the whole article about power connectors and how to do them basically.
Okay, let me make sure we have 1 more minute left. Let me just look for 2 more questions. Teltonika, do the routers have possibility to send data to our own server if our server have HTTP API?
I think yes, I think they can send it.
Okay. How can I reach EMnify? That's a good closing question, maybe. How can I reach EMnify and Teltonika networks if I have more questions later on? So just speaking about here, EMnify. So of course you can always reach us over our webpage. There's a support chat which is available 24/7. But also don't hesitate to directly reach out to myself. My email address is my name, christian.henke@emnify.com. You can also reach me over LinkedIn, and I can answer the question or link you to the right people. Andrius?
Yeah, so you easily reach me via LinkedIn, Andrius Unikas, or you can write an email to me, andrius.unikas@teltonika.lt. I believe LinkedIn is easiest way, or you can write via Microsoft Teams.
Yeah. Okay, and there are some questions still open. We will make sure to answer them offline. But thanks a lot, Andrius. It was a great presentation, and I think quite a lot of interesting questions. I see that you have quite a lot of fans that are using your your products, and yeah, looking forward to maybe have another session later on.
Thanks for inviting me to this webinar. I'm very happy to do this.
Okay, then thank you. And yeah, I have maybe one last thing, because before I forget, because this is a webinar series, we actually have planned 2 more webinars which are already on the go. One still in this year, where we will talk a little bit our cloud integrations with the Google Cloud. So there we will not have a partner. This will be an EMnify only webinar, but there you will basically get some insights on how you can integrate cellular connectivity into your Google Cloud stack. And on January 14th, we have another webinar with ST Microelectronics and about sensors that give you the possibility to detect objects. So feel free to already sign up to the Google Cloud one, the ST Micro webinar. We don't have the landing page yet ready, but you will be informed over email. Okay, thanks a lot, and speak to you soon. Bye.